Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Punch Club. So we've been promised that we are going to fight a bear. So all we really need to do is decide what amount of stamina and agility I should have, which is what I'm going to focus on increasing. I guess 12 is our target goal. It seems like it's going to be pretty equal, and there's really no timer on this, so I could bump up everything to 11 right now and see if that's enough to fight the bear, or I could just continuously work out. It probably does make sense to actually just take on the bear. See if we can maybe get the agility up to 12. But my health is too low. And this might be the very first time in the entire game that I've actually had to pay attention to the health. Yeah. Just wait until our health gets to maybe about 60%. That should be probably enough. So let's get this back to 11. Let's get this to 12. And then keep an eye on health. Once health is at 100%, then that's probably the time to try and take on the bear. After we take on the bear, though, it is then Ivan Geef himself that we have to take on. There's a timer question here also, and it, will health be at 100% before the end of the day? It's hard to tell. Probably not. Get stamina up to 11 in time. I think we can. Okay. So that's, I think, as good as it's gonna get. Let's see if that is good enough. So we're gonna fight a bear. So the question here is really gonna come down to, are we gonna get to fight more bears after this point? The bear has boxing punch, knee crush, powerful uppercut, rain of strikes, exhauster, and hard block. He's also got Shining Knight and Die Hard. 30% chance to regain. So with all of that, should I be hitting him hard? Or should I be trying to target his stamina? I don't know. We'll just have to see how this goes. So at first, everything looks good. I think we've got way more health than he does. So I really only need to land a couple of blows and I'll win. But if I just start getting knocked down because I'm out of stamina and I'm not landing any blows at all, that's going to be an issue. Yeah. That was fairly close. And that too only gave me 7 skill points, so I still don't have enough to upgrade even one perk. You dealt with that small bear. He was huge and scary. Scary, you should have seen my ex-wife. Seriously though, your next fight will be against Grief. Make sure that you're ready. Okay. So, yeah, we are locked into the system where we can really only work out. There's just nothing else to do. And it's fairly limiting even on what the workouts are. If you were trying to increase your strength, for instance here, you'd just be doing these two. To do stamina, I'm doing these 3. If I was trying to do agility only, still doing these 2. Stamina, these 2. I guess the question is, what is our target number? Kind of don't have a target number. Our target here is health. So we'll just keep on increasing our agility and keep on increasing our stamina. If I lock stamina via upgrades, which I think I need like 50 upgrade points at least to do that. If I lock stamina at 13, then if my agility is still high, I should just always work out to maintain my agility being high. Then it would be another 50 upgrade points to lock the agility to where it is. I'm just going in circles here. Probably the one thing I probably would tweak about this whole Russia sequence and section is that you start with a broken leg because the story forces it onto you. Interesting how much food you have in this whole thing. Might as well just be flippant about how much food we eat. Yeah, you start with a debuff of a broken leg, when ideally you would want a buff of avenging anger or something. You are getting more skill points, it seems, exercising here than you would at the original home location. We're still just waiting for health to regen. It's taking a really long time. And I guess our target will be stamina of 11, 13, 13, 11. And we'll give it a try and see if that's enough. Surviving grief. A little bit more working out. half the time when you come out here, you don't get the yellow highlight on this, which can be visually confusing, to say the least. It does seem like it's cutting it like extremely close, though, that there's barely enough time to go up one level before the day resets and potentially knocks you down one level. Plus it also is creating this situation where, because you're getting stamina and agility, that there's a real argument here that I'd rather just move agility up higher now, instead of going 13, 13, 11. I might be so close to 13, 14, 11 that it's worth attempting. But certainly we're running out of things to say. As a management game, even for me, who is not really a management game fan, and not the kind of person that wants a super complicated management game, I do have to admit this one is coming off fairly lackluster in that there's just not that much to actually manage. At a certain point this is getting just close to being a clicker game where you're just clicking on things to see numbers go up. Although you could kind of rudely describe almost any game like that. Okay, we have a bit of time here. Take on Ivan Geef. Let's see if this works. Okay, if you think you're ready, best of luck, I believe in you. So my question here is, are we going to end up in an actual ring? This is obviously a parody of one of the Street Fighter characters. It's actually surprising how different the Street Fighter 2 is, the original Street Fighter 2 version, versus Street Fighter 1, which is arguably Street Fighter 1 is just unplayable. And then Street Fighter 2 is just so well received, it got re-released in modded forms over and over again. Many times over. Okay. The stamina is too high. This health is not good. So let's take off powerful uppercut and do this. And then see what this does. If I am gonna win here, it's gonna be by inches. This might be the only time we see this like Russian crowd. It just doesn't feel like there's a mini game or multiplayer game that would justify making a whole background there when it's only going to be used once. Okay, so by being defeated there, that did give me 3 XP skill points, which lets me buy Shining Knight perk. Then I would need another 25 to get this point. It's just Huckle Bone Blow might be useful. Then I would need another 25 to get a 4th ability box. Then I need another 25 to lock in stamina at 13, which notice stamina is not even at 13. So yeah, it is just going to be more exercise. We're waiting for our health to recover. And this would be the part you'd like to speed up, and yet the game is not going to let you do that. This might answer a question about, is 15 possibly the absolute maximum of any stamina or strength or agility stats? Or does the number go higher than 15? Kind of wouldn't be surprised if it goes up forever, or if it goes up to like 20. Yeah, it's just gonna be workout, workout, workout. Occasionally eat some food, occasionally sleep if you run out of stamina, run out of energy. And that's where a perk that's just like an infinite perk as far as avenging anger would be helpful, if it just gave you infinite energy and automatically filled all your health after each fight. Something along those lines. I'm wondering about whether 25 might be the maximum. It would just be really silly to try and take on the fight again at 65 health. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a small percentage of players that still don't know health affects your health points in fights, and so you never go into a fight without your health being at 100%, particularly considering how food has no effect and mood has no effect and energy has no effect as far as what you start off with. Sleeping fairly quickly. Go ahead and eat. So I guess it's 13, 14, 11, and then we'll take on the fight again. Which will be easier said than done because it's all going to reset. Definitely seems like agility is more my forte. That is what I was going to target from the beginning of the game, and it's just never really played a big enough role. But clearly I'm getting the agility levels up high quicker than I'm getting stamina up high. And it would be really annoying if we locked in the skill that held agility up to 13 and it did drop strength and stamina down to 9. That'd be really, really annoying. And if that's the case, then the right way to play would be to never actually lock agility and just after 8 and just always have agility be your default thing that you would work out for. That would also open up the possibility that even at the end game, there might be a point where it's just not worth. There might be a point where you're still having reasons to exercise. So this is up to 30. I suspect since it's a round number, that might be the maximum. So again, we're just watching the clock here, trying to get stamina up to 11. But at this rate, we may get agility up to 15 before we even get stamina up to 11. Now, if we ran into problems where we just can't beat Zangief, well then, that would put us in the weird position where there's nothing else we can do to get skill points. And you can't reset your build, which arguably, if I could get all my skill points back and reset my build, then that would work a lot better. I could move things around. Of course, if you could reset your build, then you could probably just do that before every single fight. And if you did that before every single fight, you could game the system way too much. Can we get to 15, 11, 13, 15, 11 before the end of the day? This number's still going up. And our energy is going down. Okay. Let's take on the fight and see if that's good enough. Obviously 15 didn't lock at a maximum since we hit 15. It's being a meat shield. It's not working. These are filling stamina very quickly. If I got really lucky, I might win here. No. The wind flow dodge. Barely used it, but when I did use it, it was 100%. Okay, so 13, 15, 11 was not good enough. We continue forward to potentially see what the maximum agility number can get to. And I guess we're going 13, 15, 12 at minimum. Probably higher than that. Again, it just does not matter. Exercise until we're out of energy, then we'll sleep to refill energy. In between that, we probably will have our health back up to 100%. Of course, this might open up a possibility that you could take on the guy again. It probably is worth just taking on the guy and seeing what happens. Seems like the outputs sometimes are somewhat random. 36 now. Looks to me like the number is just going to keep on going up. Yeah, I don't know how this, you could describe this as anything other than boring, though. I mean, this is way worse than at least the city section, because the city section had you go and work jobs to get money, to get food. Now all of that is just being provided for you. This is a very different direction than I thought it was going to go. I thought I was going to just start fighting in ultimate fights and winning and getting skill points and just go down through a larger league with potentially stronger characters. Now weirdly, this has been like a day or two to just get back to where we were. 13, 15, 11. I think we were at 13, 14, 11 before. Yeah, as soon as we get this to 11, we should give it a try. Just in an effort to save time. Maybe 40 is the maximum number. Yeah, stopping these exercises when you're getting only small fractions of skills, of bubbles, doesn't really make sense, because all you can do is just walk around in loops and do the 4 location things. Okay. Get ready to stop as soon as we get darn it. Thought we might get really lucky and knock this over into 16, 11. I don't really see a way you'd get stamina up higher. I mean, strength up higher. Just watching the clocks. This whole sequence feels like it could easily add 50 days to the whole experience. Up to 42 now. So pretty obvious it never runs out. Can we get to 16? 13, 16, 11. I'm about to run out of energy. That's going to actually cause problems too. So let's see if we can get energy up to about 50% and then stop sleeping. There's just absolutely nobody else to fight. Tiny sliver. No other way to get skill points. No other way to get resources. Okay, we're gonna go fast paced. We're gonna go backbreaker. We're gonna see how that works in the first round. Well, health wise, we're in a pretty good position, but stamina wise, not so much. We're just hoping he can't hit me mid over 3 or 4 rounds. As though he is hitting me. Okay. Again, we lost, which gives us 3 skill points. $44 might be the last number. Although that's a pretty arbitrary number. Excuse me, I'm gonna just mute myself and cough while this goes on, since I really don't have anything to say anyways. Okay, I'm back. Didn't really cough so much. Let's just drink water there. So again, if we can get to 1611 before the day ends, then we can try it again. We do now know that 15 is not the maximum, and 16 is pretty obviously not the maximum. It would have actually been stupid had I followed through with that thought, though, and tried to do 1611 with just the hour or so of time, because my health would have been at 65%, so yeah. Definitely feels like the game is just forcing you into learning how to play the game, but we're so far deep into the gameplay, hours and hours and hours into the gameplay. Now is not the time to be forced into learning the strategies. It would have been much better if you just vocally told me the strategies. There was a whole book on training and such on the table in your house, and so the game does just directly tell you what you need to do, although it's just not a really complicated process, so it's easily ignored and overlooked. So health is still not up to 100%. So we're going to continuously work on this. I don't think we'll get agility up to 17%. Guess we are out of energy. We've hit 50 as far as pierogies. We'll see if it's still 50 later. Health is now at 100%. If I do just a little bit, we would get to 13, 16, 11, and we should just see if that's good enough. It is possible that the reason I'm not winning has less to do with these stats and has more to do with just what skills I have equipped. It kind of feels like almost anything equipped will be good enough if your stats are high enough. Okay. So we're gonna go with agility. Debuffs for stamina doesn't feel like that's useful. 29 versus 26. Now that our agility is so high. Does not require high agility. So I just have to kind of reevaluate everything here. Trying to figure out what the best move is. Decrease agility some more. Okay, let's give this a try and see how this goes. Well, first it looks good, but our stamina is still an issue versus his stamina and his health points are just so incredibly high. This is also where just getting general XP and leveling up would be potentially helpful, in that if I was at 500 health points, that would have solved a lot of problems. Okay, if I get lucky, I'll win here. I probably won't get lucky. I'm just not going to change anything. So, back to working out. 52 is now the high number. It would be fairly irritating if I got agility up to like 20 and then it just locked in at 20. Always. Yeah, so at a certain point, I guess if I tried to focus on strength, I might be able to get my strength up to 14 or 15. I don't think I'm going to get it up to much higher than that, though. Let's see. 13, 16, 11. Next time I guess we'll probably be targeting 13, 17, 11. Maybe if I did the tree first each time, we could get it up to 14, 17, 11. Keep on trying. As long as our health's below 100%. Really, I'm just saying the same thing over and over again. Doing the same thing over and over again in these 40-minute, 45-minute episodes. It's just not a lot's changing. This is probably a great example of games that need to transition towards respecting the player's time a lot better. When this game was released, I would imagine it in itself was not that old of a game, and so it really should at this point kind of just accelerate everything. At least give the player the option. You could have put the drug dealer, the magic quote-unquote dealer, here just as a gag, but then you would have needed money. So then you would have needed a job, which you could have had chopping firewood be a money-paying job. Even if you were just going to keep it all on one screen, that still would have worked fairly nicely. Still waiting for health to go up. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get strength up. Now we must sleep, and that's gonna knock us back down. So we can get health up to 100% before the end of the day. Which, nope. That did not occur. And notice you don't wake up once you get the 3 status bars full. Our target is 13, 17, 11. Question will be, can we get there before the end of the day? And it falls right back down. Seems like we basically spent half of a day sleeping. We very much are on the cusp of beating this guy, though. So 13, 7, 17, 11 is believable that will work. Just watch the clock now. Get to 11 before this gets to 11. No. I don't think it's happening. We're definitely losing way too many skill points still when a day resets. Up to 64 now. Yeah. And we don't have a way of getting skills, so even if there was a skill that would help and just make it so you don't lose as many skill points every day when it resets, I wouldn't be able to actually unlock it. And I imagine here I'm not going to actually get the medallion until the very end of the game. If I was to get it, I would suspect it's not going to do much other than maybe make you punch harder. Come on, stop. Nope. Right. 13, 17, 11. Health is at 100%. Let's go take on the fight and see if we can win this time. Attempt number 4 or 5. I believe this has been. And it does just feel like agility is the thing that's going to save you if you can just avoid getting hit one extra time. I don't see a scenario here though where your agility would be so high you'd actually get to round 10 and win by a decision. Again, still losing. And this is a great example of something where you look at how this is playing out and you think to yourself, this can't have been the intended experience for the player. I believe I'm playing on normal mode. I believe there might have been an easy mode. I definitely would recommend an easy mode if there is an option. I don't think I'd recommend going down the agility path as your character build at the very beginning when it first asks you a question. I think stamina path would have made a lot more sense. Well, agility may be helping somewhat. I assume what we're targeting now is just 13, 18, 11. And if there is going to be a maximum, I would suspect it's going to be 20. I also kind of wonder if this whole concept here is just being built around getting your stats up really high, so when you get back to the city things are gonna feel way easier. Of course, I could also just gotten the medallion, and the medallion could magically have made me stronger. We're out of energy again. 68. Wonder if we'll make it to 99. If I stop here, actually I don't think there's a reason to stop. My health is still too low, and 1711 I don't think is any different than, is much different than 1611. once we get stamina up to 11, this will probably be up to 18 at that point. And if you were someone who built a strength build, this would definitely be a super annoying stoive section, as only this and this would increase your strength, and it's probably going to increase other stats, although I don't know if anybody really has a good reason why they would complain about their other stats going up. We are approaching a year. It almost feels like they maybe intentionally put you into a snowy covered Russian landscape just as you're reaching day 365. One assumes though that they started on January 1st, which is not really the case. This day could have started any day of the year. So December 25th, Christmas, doesn't inherently have to be anywhere close to this calendar. And in this game, if I did see like Santa Claus or something Christmassy, I would imagine you're just going to end up punching it. Okay. Can we get to 18 before the end of the day? Probably not. Didn't make it. Probably will make it today, though. That we'll get to 13, 18, 11. Yeah, I just looked over at the clock, and again, we've spent like an hour doing almost nothing. I'm starting to want this game to just get over itself and wrap up the experience. It's getting a little too repetitive, and honestly I probably have only tolerated this game as well as I have because I've been taking significantly long amounts of breaks in between episodes, in a lot of cases 4 or 5 days of a break. Whereas usually when I'm trying to play games, I'm trying to play them all in a row or in a few days' time. Let's see, 74. 13, 18, 11. Can we end this episode on a victory? Just keep on clicking the fight button and crossing my fingers. Every successful strike delivered by it decreases your opponent's agility. Maybe that's something worth changing. Change it to that. Still didn't get it. Okay, well, we're at 13, 18, 11, which is a fairly large number. Our win rate's going down at this rate. So yeah, we pushed the numbers really high. That being said, we don't have any way of getting any skill points. And the numbers still aren't proving to be that useful in the fact that they're high. It does still feel like, well, there really is only one thing we can do, which is just keep on getting our stats higher and higher. So if there was a cap at like 20 and we got it to 13, 20, 11, that'd be very irritating because I can't really do anything for strength or for stamina exclusively to focus your stamina up and get it to a higher number. It feels like what I should have done is played a little bit better and locked my stamina at 13 before entering this story phase. But yeah, that didn't happen. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and keep on watching. Thanks.